we won't talk about the transformation of the world, nor will we talk about the transformation of our own selves. We'll allow you to figure that along the way. I'm reminded of a beautiful story. It seems it so happened once that a very learned scientist was traveling in a train, and he noticed that his co-passenger was reading the Bible. And he thought that it is such an archaic book. And he told that gentleman, he said, "Excuse me, in this day and age, you're wasting your time reading the Bible. Don't you know the amount of progress that science has made? Don't you know the latest technology that is around? And you're still stuck up with this old archaic book called the Bible? Legends of someone else's life? Look, grow up, advance, progress. Don't get stuck up in such old books." And this person looks up and says, "I am reading the book, do you have any problem?" Oftentimes that's what happens. Someone else's problems become our problems. Or even if that is not a problem to that person, it becomes a problem for us. So this person said, no, it's not about problem, you see. It's about knowing. It's about growing as a community. I am a scientist. Okay, and so it's my duty to spread about science, about scientific knowledge, about analytical knowledge. It's so archaic about what you're doing. And so saying, he spoke a lot about science. Ultimately, his destination came, and he was about to get down, and he says, "You know what? Here is my card." He gave him his card, business card, and said, "Sometime, whenever you have time, come and visit me. I'll talk to you about science. I'll talk to you about what is technology and what is analytical mind." And even as he was getting down, he said, "You know what? I've been talking all this while. You didn't tell me who you are." And then this gentleman who was reading the Bible said, "My name is Thomas Alva Edison." You know who Thomas Alva Edison is? And the scientist was shocked because he was talking to Thomas Alva Edison. And he said, "I am sorry, sir, tell me when I can come and see you." And so Thomas Alva Edison gave him an appointment, and he visited the home of Mr. Edison. And as he entered into the living room of Edison, he saw an immaculate structure of the solar system, a mechanical structure of the entire solar system, a perfect model of the entire solar system. You had the sun and all the planets moving around, and it was a beautiful solar system, the structure that he saw over there. And he met Mr. Edison and he said, "This is amazing. This is simply superb. Can you tell me who did it? Who made this? Who made the system?" And Edison replies, "I don't know. It was not there yesterday. It came about today." So the scientist just laughed and said, "Oh, come on, don't joke. It's not possible." And so then Edison said, No, I'm being absolutely serious. It just came about. It was not there yesterday, and today it's there in my living room." So he says, "Okay, jokes apart, you know that is not possible. You know it is impossible that here I'm able to see a model in front of me, and you say that no one created it? It just came up on its own?" And then Edison says, "If you think that this entire universe can come on its own, why can't a little model of the solar system come on its own?" And then the scientist had realized his folly. He realized that if this entire universe can come in on its own, which is definitely not possible. And that's when Edison says, if there is an effect, there has to be a cause. If there is a painting, there has to be a painter. If there is a bulb which is lit, there has to be electricity. If there is a pot, there has to be a potter. If there is this world, this creation, there has to be a creator. So get all the atheists in town, and all it will take is 1 minute to prove the existence of God. It doesn't take too long. If there is a creation, there has to be a creator. To recognize the Creator's existence in our life, His influence in our life, is what we all have gathered here for. And we have been so lucky that Creator decided to pick and choose a time exactly when we also happen to be there on this earth. Isn't it probably the greatest moment in history? Out of all the billions and billions and billions of years, the cosmic creator of this entire universe chooses to be on this earth, and guess what? Even we choose to be on earth, or we are on the earth at the very same time. And that is what makes us so much more special. Have you heard of the Sai Olympics? Not heard of the Sai Olympics? Okay, so let me tell you about the Sai Olympics. It's a very interesting concept. So the Sai movement, it is said, is just like the Olympics. You know what the Olympics are, right? So everyone in the world knows about Olympics. Similarly, everyone in the world knows about the Sai movement. There is no single head of state, no president, no prime minister, no king who does not know about Sri Satya Sai. Every single president, prime minister knows. The Secret Service, the CIA, the FBI, everyone knows about Satya Sai. Just like the Olympics. Everyone knows about the Olympics. But not everyone is interested in the Olympics. Right? Similarly, not everyone is interested in the Sai movement. Now, out of all those people who are interested in the Sai movement, not everyone chooses to see or be a part of the Sai movement. Just like, though some of them are interested in the Olympics, not everybody gets a chance to see the Olympics for various reasons. Okay, now out of all those who are getting a chance to see the Olympics or see the Sai movement, not everyone gets a ticket to get into the stadium. Some people have to just stay far away and watch it on the television. Very, very few people get a chance to be in the Sai movement, which is the stadium. And what is the stadium? What is the comparison? What is the equivalent? The Satya Sai Seva organization is the stadium. For the Sai Olympics, the Sri Satya Sai Seva organization or any of Swami's institutions, that is the stadium. Okay, so now we have gone fairly small, we are coming to the stadium. Now everyone in the stadium is not a participant, is not an athlete. Some people are there just to watch. And guess what? Even in the Sai organization, we have lots of such people who are there just to watch. You know, we call them the fence sitters. If Swami is ultimately proven that it is God, hey, you know what? I was there. And if something happens, if something is written badly about Swami, I don't know, I told you, that's why I was only a watcher. And I was only a witness. I was never involved with all the activities. They are called the fence sitters. Right? And you would probably, for all the birthday functions and for Shivratri and for Guru Purnima, you will have packed halls. When everyone wants to come and participate in a bhajan, they are like the audience in the ground. They don't participate, they are absolutely necessary, though. They are not unnecessary, they are very much necessary. Okay, so we are not even interested about that. We are interested about the athletes, right? Okay, so in the Sai movement, there are 3 kinds of athletes, or rather 2 kinds of athletes. Can you guess what the 2 athletes? Okay, the first kind of athletes are the sprinters, 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters dash. They will get into the organization, they will make amazing impact in the organization. 1 year later, they are gone. Right? They will be there, and when they are there, they are absolutely all over the place. jumping from one venue to the other, from Sai Nilayam to Eashwaramma Sai Center to Pashe. They will be all over the place. In every occasion, they will be putting the carpets, removing it. They will be there till the end. For Omkaram, they will be there, etc., etc. Sprinters, they are absolutely the people in the organization. In fact, I'm not joking, but this was told in front of Bhagwan. So I'm not making this up. I heard this from someone, I like it very much. And this was, I think, in 97, this was told in front of Swami. And you should have seen Swami laugh all throughout. It was amazing to see Swami laugh. And so they're those kind of people, they're the sprinters. Now comes to the second type of athletes. The second type of athletes are the long distance runners, the marathon runners, the 10,000 meters, the 40 kilometers, the 120 kilometers runners. And if the side movement exists, it is because of those long distance runners. If it is going to exist 100 years from now, it is because of those long distance runners. But even in these long distance runners, there are three kinds of long distance runners. The first type are the on the spot runners. Where they are, they will run there only. For years together. That is, when we joined the organization, we were of one type. 10 years from now, we will be the same. Okay, not in terms of how we look, but in terms of our inner transformation. They are harmless. These kind of on-the-spot joggers are harmless. They will do a lot of work, but it does not impact them. They are like, those lotuses in the garden. Nothing touches them. A great talk, nothing happens. Great bhajan, nothing happens. But I am there. But they are harmless. The dangerous kind of individuals are the backward running long distance runners. What are the backward running long distance runners? When they joined the organization, they were beautiful people. After joining the organization, they have become terrible people. More anger, more hatred, more jealousy after joining the organization. Dangerous people, very dangerous people. In fact, we should all pray that those backward running long distance runners should leave the organization. It's good for the organization. I am saying organization meaning any of Swami's institutions, any good work. And then there are the third kind of long distance runners, and they are the front running long distance runners. 10 years back, they were there, and you can see their evolution. 20 years from now, they are going to be there. Now the big disclaimer that I want to give, or the big caveat that you should keep over here is, do not try to compare. Do not kind of look around and see, hey, you know what, he's a front runner, he's a backward runner, he's a sprinter. Because that is what our tendency to do is. The first thing we do is, the moment I said sprinter, I know your mind went to all those who were sprinting. Hey, that's Amey Deshpandey, he was a terrific sprinter. He just came to West Indies and then, now you don't even see him in Parthi. Don't do that. Think about what we are, about who you are. Are you a sprinter? Or are you a backward running long distance runner? Or are you a front running long distance runner? And this is something that I want to convey, I want to leave with the youth. Because a time will come when all those front running aged long distance runners will pass on the baton to you guys. But by then, are you also running along with them? Or have you run so back that you're not even able to see where the front running long distance runners are? How do you become a front running long distance runner? Isn't it? That is all that we want to know. How do we all become front running long distance runners? And what is our goal? Where do we get our gold medal? And guess what? Unlike the Olympics, each and every one of us can be a gold medalist. In the Olympics, only one gold medal can be there, maximum two. I mean, you will have to be absolutely together. But in the Sai Olympics, every single person can be a gold medalist. And that is what once was said, that not all of us can have an opportunity to join Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Right? All of us don't have a chance to join Swami's college, but we all have the opportunity to become Swami students. So when some of you look at us and say that, you are Swami students, remember, even you are Swami students. The only difference is we are Swami students and Swami's college students. And in fact, when I was before I joined my primary school, when my mother asked Swami, please take them in your school, Swami said, all schools are my schools. Correct, no? For the Lord, which school cannot be his school? Everything in this universe belongs to him. And so then we had to tell, no Swami, not that way. We want to join the Sri Sathya Sai primary school. Oh, tell like that. Because all schools are my schools, and therefore all of us are Swami students. And all of us have to decide to become that long distance, front running long distance runner. And how do we become those front running long distance runners? I'm just reminded of a very beautiful saying here. A true leader, in this case a true long distance runner, is one who has compassion in the heart, passion in the belly, and innovation in the mind. A very beautiful saying, I'll repeat it. Compassion in the heart, passion in the belly, and innovation in the mind. And I would just like to use this as a framework to talk to you about how Swami embodied these three beautiful statements. First, compassion in the heart. Look at any project that Swami took up. It first started with compassion in the heart. Brother Arvind had written a very beautiful one of his articles in which he says, when the Lord held the newspaper. If you have not read it, you should read it. When all of us read the newspaper, the first thing we do is we start condemning someone else. We start blaming someone else. But when Swami read the newspaper, it was a very different kind of reading. Even as Swami read the newspaper, 100 projects were looking at him. Every single time he read the newspaper, almost, a new project was happening somewhere. The housing project in Orissa happened because of a newspaper article. Swami was reading the newspaper one day when he came to know that a whole chunk of people, a whole piece of land in Orissa was simply razed down to ground because of floods. And Swami did not ask, what is the government doing? What is going to happen to those people was the question that he asked. And he simply decided, I am going to give them. And the Orissa housing project started. One other time that Swami read the newspaper, he read about a mother who fed poison to her own children and then fed poison to herself. And that has given rise to the iconic Gram Seva that we all know today, the village service. Started from one newspaper article. Do you think that Swami needs a newspaper to actually, give him that encouragement or give him that idea to start? No. These are all ways in which he tells us that when you read a newspaper, when you look at any information outside, think about what you can do. You are at the center of the universe. Make yourself at the center of the universe and then look about what I can do for the betterment of the universe. That is how Swami looked at himself. What can I do? And as Brother Arvind was so beautifully saying, just imagine, this is a little boy, just to give you a little more description of what Puttaparthi was. Do you know the most detailed maps in India are the postal maps? In fact, in any country, the most detailed maps are the postal maps because when you post your letter, it has to reach there. So the postal maps are supposed to be the most detailed maps. Did you know that in 1926, Puttaparthi did not exist even on the postal map of India? Forget the tourist or the political map of India. It did not even have its own post office. In fact, till 1955, till Kasturi Garu came to Prashanthi Nilayam, Puttaparthi did not have its own post office. All the posts used to come to Bukkapatnam, which is about 25 kilometers from Parthi. And in fact, Kasturi sir, who is a biographer of Bhagwan, who has written Satyam Shivam Sundaram, was the first postmaster of Puttaparthi. He used to receive all of Swami's letters. Just imagine in the dusty town, as described by Brother Arvind, one 14-year-old boy, 14, not more than 14, for a moment let us forget that that is God. Because if you keep thinking that that is God, it is impossible to emulate Him, isn't it? Yeah, everything He can do because He is God. But then when He says we are God, we don't believe it. So for a moment forget that He is God. And let us assume that He is a human being. So one 14-year-old boy who's probably tired of secular education, that's how sometimes I very lightly look at, probably, Swami must have said, enough, I don't want to learn mathematics. So let me just declare my avatarhood. And sometimes, when I keep looking at my own PhD, I'm so tired of doing my PhD for the last 4.5 years, I sometimes feel like declaring my avatarhood. But I've got such a lot of books to throw. Probably Swami had like 2 or 3 books to throw. And you know what, after that you have to compose a bhajan also. Manasa Bhajani Guru Charanam, he composed. Are you capable of composing a bhajan? I think I am. So whenever I look at, because I was telling you the other day, that from my birth, my only hero has been Swami. For most of I have got a couple of nephews, and one of them is a huge Spider-Man fan, and I was telling some of the brothers, he has everything related to Spider-Man. He has the bag of Spider-Man, he has a t-shirt of Spider-Man, he breathes Spider-Man, he eats Spider-Man, etc. For me, when I look back at my life, I had only one hero. My parents put only Swami in front of me. And for me, like what Spider-Man is to my nephew, Swami means to me. Superhero. I love the style of Swami. I think he's the biggest style icon. The only person who actually took pradakshina around his devotees. All of us, we go to a temple and we go around the Lord, isn't it? And it's called pradakshina, right? You know what pradakshina is? You go around the Lord, right? Guess what? This Lord had a very different style. He walked around his devotees, isn't it? When he used to come out for darshan, you actually saw he walked around his devotees. Brand new Lord. He set up new rules for Godhood. An iconic master. So difficult is his physical form, you can never make a perfect idol out of him. Because he said, I can never live in an idol. In fact, they are trying to install one idol in Prashant Nilayam. They are just not able to get the hair right. Everything about the Swami is so nice and so simple. Just a nice flowing robe. So simple to chisel out. His hands going this way. Very easy to chisel out. You will get messed up when you come to his hair. Not like Shirdi Baba simply put one bandana around his head. That is also pretty simple actually. He said, no, I'm going to make it difficult. Iconic style. So in fact, when I was a little boy, I still remember, I used to imitate Swami. I also had my own set of imaginary devotees at home. When everyone else used to sleep in the afternoon, I would come out and I would bless my devotees. And I would collect their imaginary letters. And I would look at a few and just wave my hand. Of course, nothing would come out. To me, that is style icon. For me, Bhagwan has been my style icon. Far from being a god, I just want to be like him. I want to smile like him. I want to talk like him. If we just look at his, and today I wonder, why am I so attracted by him? Attracted to him. If you look at his physical features are not that attractive. In the normal, right? That is the state, that is the kind of expression that, no, they aren't. That's the kind of feeling. What about our Swami is not attractive? Everything about our Swami is so attractive. Just remember, he doesn't put, all the kind of cosmetics that we put. And yet he's so beautiful. Right? All of us feel in our innermost heart that Swami is so beautiful. We all want to be like him. But all that springs forth from the compassion that is there in his heart. And he used to always say, I have all these powers, only because I am pure. Swami time and again told us that even you can have it. In fact, even after the Lingodbhavam happened, Swami said that there is a Hiranyagarbha within each and every one of us. That is again one of the most amazing teachings of our Bhagwan. He didn't take it out and say, hey, guess what, I have this, do you have it? The Lord said, even you have it. Even you have the power to materialize that, because the entire cosmos is there in the bosoms of your heart. He always gave us that kind of a goal to achieve, but then came down every now and then to show us that we can become like Him. So coming back to this compassion in the heart, I was telling you about how when Swami opened the newspaper, or when Swami saw suffering somewhere. For example, in 1993 was his last visit to Chennai, the city of Chennai. And as he was driving down one of the roads in Chennai, he saw a long line of people early in the morning standing just to get a jar full of water. And just like Siddhartha, who asked, what is this? Swami simply asked, what is this happening here? And they said, Swami, these are all people who do not have water. And Swami said, simply declared, I will not come back to Chennai till I give water to this entire city. And believe me, what is the population of Trinidad? It is 1.3 million. The population of Chennai, just one city, is 10 million. It's 10 times Trinidad. And Swami simply decided, until I give water to this city of Chennai, I am not going to come back to the city. And when he went back in the year of 2007, Swami had done it. And you should actually see that particular discourse when he makes that announcement in 2002. When he made that announcement. You should see the power in that announcement. He says, however difficult it is, however impossible the task may be, I will achieve it. I have decided that I will give water to the city of Chennai. And he did it. And it required two governments which have been the biggest enemies. The animosities between the Andhra Pradesh government and the Tamil Nadu government are well documented. You have a whole book written on the animosities between these two. Swami was simply able to overcome the animosities within 2-3 years. And he was able to get water to Chennai. And when Swami was asked, Swami said, it is not because of my divine powers, it is simply because of my pure thoughts and my pure feelings. He says, when you decide to do good, this entire universe will conspire to come to your help. That is the power of good thoughts, vis-a-vis bad thoughts. Good thoughts have the ability to simply manifest themselves, to multiply themselves. That is the compassion in the heart. And when you have such compassion in the heart, that leads to a passion in the belly. Because when you see some suffering somewhere, you just cannot stop. You just want to go out there and help. And that is what we saw even again embedded in Swami's life, in every activity of Swami's life. I still remember when our indoor stadium was being built. The indoor stadium is another marvel. Sometime when you come to Prashant Nilayam, the first big building that hits you after the super specialty hospital is the indoor stadium. It was built in about 126 days. And since it happened right opposite to my hostel where I stay, I have seen it literally grow. In 126 days it was built. And I still remember at the end of those 126 days when Swami had called all the workers to sit, and Swami was giving them a lavish lunch. That day was a grand feast for all the workers who had worked. And Swami was sitting over there, and Swami was coughing. And there was water trickling down Swami's nose because of all the dust. And he still was sitting over there, and suddenly he decided he wanted to give all of them 500 rupees each. There were about 1,500 workers. And Swami distributed about 750,000 rupees in about half an hour. He simply gave it away. And everyone else was looking, Swami, this much is not enough. It's not that the 1,500 workers worked free of cost. They were paid. At that moment, Swami just felt that I wanted to do something for them. And Swami simply decided to do it. I still remember another occasion when the super specialty hospital was being built. And Swami had gone to visit the construction site. And you know, as we all know, Swami almost 90-95% of the time was bare feet. He never wore chappals. And it was burning hot. It was boiling hot, the entire ground. But Swami went from room to room. He was going to check the lawns, if the lawns were growing well or not. And a couple of days later, Swami had blisters on his feet. But Swami said, that is not important. We could see Swami struggling to walk. And some of the boys, the elder boys, had told Swami, why so much? And you know, the word we say for effort in Telugu is shrama. Swami, why so much shrama? Why are you doing so much effort? There are people to do it, no? Why are you slogging out so much? And Swami said, this is not shrama, this is prema. No, again, Swami using those little words. That passion in the belly. To go to any extent to see that once we have started a good work, let's complete it. Long distance runner. I'm reminded of another story which I'll narrate to you. This happened in the 1950s when the Purnachandra Auditorium was being built. Do you know the Purnachandra Auditorium? Just to give you a little fact file about the Purnachandra Auditorium. Till very recently, till the 1970s, Purnachandra Auditorium was India's biggest auditorium without a pillar in the middle. Do you know that? Have you seen the massive size of Purnachandra Auditorium? It's probably about 20 times this hall. It doesn't have a pillar in the middle. It's a construction marvel. For that kind of technology that was available then, that was a construction marvel. So when Swami, this was being constructed, it seems Swami had been to Hyderabad, a city near Puttaparthi. Swami had gone there, you know, to do what? He went there to buy chairs. He wanted chairs for the Purnachandra Auditorium, and so Swami had personally gone to Hyderabad to buy chairs. And so he had been out in the bazaar with some of his devotees who were hosting him. Swami walked into a shop and he asked the person, how much is this chair cost? I mean, just imagine Swami being your customer. And he said, Swami, it is 21 rupees, one chair. Swami said, give it to me at 16 rupees. Swami is bargaining. Give it to me for 16 rupees. That man said, no, not giving it. So Swami just turned, and as he turned, this man said, okay, I'll give it to you for 19 rupees. And then Swami said, no, if I'm going to buy it, I'm going to buy it at 16 rupees. And all the devotees who were around him, the ones who were hosting him, they were telling Swami, it's okay, it's just 2-3 rupees. Why are you bargaining so hard? Again, you know, as we think we know everything, and he acts as if he knows nothing. And so they say, Swami, it's okay, just 2-3 rupees, just 2. And Swami said, you wait, you don't know. And finally, after about 15-20 minutes of bargaining, finally he bought the chairs for 16 rupees. Obviously, he knew what the cost is. Okay, leave the divine part, I'm sorry. And as Swami walked out after having made this deal, the devotees asked, Swami, why did you do this? Just for a couple of rupees, why were you bargaining so hard? This is the 1950s. And Swami makes a statement. Swami says, I need to start saving every single rupee from now, because a few years from now I am going to give free education to thousands of children. I need to save money from now. The first college of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning came up in 1968. Do you think that Swami actually needed to save up all this money to build that college? No. He would have got, if he would have asked, he would have simply got it. But Swami wanted to show that it is important that we know what we want and to have our vision. And at that time, it seems those people were saying, when they said that when Swami said college, everyone wondered, what college is Swami talking about? I'll give you another instance. It was the 1956, if I'm not wrong, 1963, 1963, Shivratri celebrations in Prashant Nilayam. And for all night long bhajans, there were only 3 singers. 4 singers. Raja Reddy sir, have you heard of Raja Reddy sir? Raja Reddy sir, Mohan Rao sir, the Iradi brothers, and Kuppam Vijayamma, who has written Anyatha Sharadan Nasti, and you will see that this afternoon. Only 4 singers for the entire night. Challenge, right? And this, in fact, I heard it from Iradi sir, one of the singers. And it seems they decided that they will sing for half an hour slots, because it was impossible to sing one after the other whole night long. So it was like one singer sings for half an hour, the next singer sings for half an hour, so that at least between 2 singers you have about 1.5 hours gap, so that we'll get some rest. And at about 5 o'clock in the morning, they were absolutely fatigued. Obviously, singing all night long. It's not a joke. And so Iradi sir was thinking in his mind, and he was telling his brother, how long is this going to continue? You know, what if next year something happens to one of us? You know, how is this Shivaratri presence going to continue? It can't continue like this. We need more singers. 1963. Swami comes out about 5:30 in the morning. Swami comes out from bhajan, and Swami walks up to Iradi sir and says, you are wondering what will happen in Shivaratri, isn't it? For the years to come. Don't worry. A time will come when my students will line up to sing in front of me. So many will be the singers that not everyone will get a chance to sing in front of me. That many singers will be there. Iconic statement, a visionary statement. In 1963, it was not up to 1969 that the first college came up. And Iradi sir said, when he heard Swami say that Swami's students, he was wondering, this is supposed to be an ashram. Where is the place for students? Because no other avatar had ever established a university. That is the vision. And that comes from compassion. When you have compassion in the heart, it simply has no reason. And that is why the most beautiful words of Swami, there is no reason for love. There is no season for love. So when someone asks, no, why should I become good? Because there is no reason to be good. There is no season to be good. For example, if you are happy today, do I say, why are you happy? Why are you so happy today? No, you should not be happy. Do we ever ask that question? Only when someone is sad, when someone is depressed, we come back and ask them, isn't it? Hey, why are you looking so sad today? When someone is happy, we never ask, because happiness is our nature. Fundamental nature of man is to be happy. That is why nobody asks when you are happy, why are you happy? Yeah, they may feel jealous about our happiness, but they will never ask you why you are so happy. Because happiness is our fundamental nature. Similarly, love is our fundamental nature. So that is why if you hear the song, when Swami is singing, love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. And what do we sing? Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Swami very unconsciously is making us also repeat the same thing. Even as he is singing, we don't say, love is your form, love is your breath, bliss is your food. We don't say it. That is what has been Swami's teaching all along. I am God, and so are you. I am love, and so are you. And so when he says, my life is my message, expansion is my life. And what do we sing? My life is my message, expansion is my life. Now think about the kind of message that you are giving. That is what we have to keep asking ourselves. What is the message that my life is giving? No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. How beautiful that these lines are. Probably the most iconic lines. That is Swami's gift to us. There is no reason to be good. There is no season to be good. Some, not all we have questions, we can ask why for several things in this world. Why does the sun rise? Why do the crops grow? Why does the wind blow? But for some questions there is no why. Because they are just the way they are. Why do we cry? Why do we cry when we listen to the glories of the Lord? There is no answer to that. Isn't it? Similarly, why should I be good? Because that is your nature to be good. Swami says, the word dharma comes from the root word dharayate. That is, what is my fundamental property? For example, he says the fundamental property of coal is to burn. Right? Coal is to burn. The fundamental property of sugar is sweetness. You can't ask the sugar, can you be something else? Can I coat you with salt and you start tasting salty? For some time, ultimately it will be sweet. The fundamental property of that is called dharma. It's dharma. Dharayate iti dharmaha. What is your fundamental property? That is dharma. And Swami says the fundamental property of man is to be divine. That is the importance of dharma. Because he is fundamentally divine. And that is why when Swami says love is my form, we are saying love is my form too. That is the passion in the belly that I was talking about. And there are several such instances. In fact, so several instances come to my mind. Once Swami was coming back from Kodaikanal, one of our brothers was telling us. And Swami just noticed there's a place called Salem which comes on the way. Swami used to drive down from Kodaikanal to Prashanthi Nilayam. And there's a place called Salem which comes on the way. And he saw a few people doing bhajans on the road because they knew that Swami's car is going to pass by. Swami's car is going to pass by and that they can do some bhajans on the way as they are having darshan. And it was the summer months and the city of Salem will be burning at something like 48 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's not a joke. Right now Prashanthi Nilayam is about 43, 44. Salem is even hotter. And as Swami's car was passing by, Swami noticed these people. And Swami asked the car to be stopped. And Swami simply got down. And on that hot tar road, Swami stood. And the brother who was traveling with Swami at that time was saying, Swami told him, you don't get down. Only I will get down. And Swami got down and Swami was simply standing and listening to the bhajans. This brother who was traveling with Swami was telling that even the police people who were around there, for law and order, they were wearing socks. So at least they had some kind of a covering. Even they were standing something like, because it was so hot, they were not able to bear the heat. And Swami is simply standing over there. And as Swami came back into, his entire feet it was completely red. And there were blisters all over Swami's feet. It is not that God will use his powers, to coolly stand on the road when everyone else is suffering. He does it to show that this human body will be like this. But I am ready to go that much longer because someone has love in their heart for me and they are calling out to me. So even if it means pain for myself, I will do it. That is the passion in the belly. In fact, every single project that you take of Bhagwan, and you will see it this afternoon in that beautiful documentary, there is a point in time in which I would like you to pay attention to when Swami actually stands up on a car. To talk to the devotees, he gets up onto a car. Yesterday when we were driving down to this one place, passage to Asia, we noticed that there was one lady screaming her heart out. And in fact, our car stopped, to hear that. I don't know whether you all heard it. And apparently she was talking about Christ and, she was talking about Christianity and why we are here and what is suffering, etc. And I just liked the passion that lady had. She was screaming at the top of her voice, talking about God. That's the kind of passion that we have seen Swami also do. There is a point in time, there was for a very, very long time, there was no microphone for Swami. And the initial summer showers, we know the summer course in spirituality, which used to happen every year. In the initial years of summer course, the 1973, there was no microphone for Bhagwan. He used to simply stand on one platform like this and talk out to hundreds of students. And apparently after that, for hours together, his voice wouldn't open up because he would have screamed out for an hour. We have seen that once Swami had a lot of pain in his throat. He was barely able to speak and he was not speaking to the voice. And everybody started praying, Swami, please speak to us, please speak to us. And Swami did not want to reveal that his throat was having pain and he was having a really, really bad sore throat. And because of the prayers of all the students, Swami said, okay, tomorrow I will come and speak to you all. You go to the institute auditorium, wait for me, I will come over there. And Swami came over there, and as he started the discourse, we could barely hear anything. There were just some muffles coming out of Swami's mouth. And just to see Swami struggling like this, and those were the years when we felt nothing could go wrong with Bhagwan. Towards the end, we saw Swami in a little vulnerable position. But those late 90s, those early 90s, Swami hardly ever fell ill or something like that. And so we never saw Swami falling ill like that. And so everybody had tears in their eyes. We were all shocked to see Swami that way. Swami simply picked up a glass of water, drank it, and outpoured forth a thundering discourse for 1.5 hours. And as the discourse was coming to an end, so was Swami's voice also coming to an end. Towards the end of the bhajan, in fact there is a recording of that, towards the end of the bhajan you can see Swami's voice fade away into that sore throat again. And even in that discourse, Swami said, because you all were praying that I should come and speak to you, I went back to my room and I yelled for an hour. Because I felt my boys are asking me to speak to him. How can I disappoint them? So just to open up my voice, he went back and he yelled in his room. That is Swami. For the sake of someone whom he loves, he is ready to go to any extent. That is the passion in the belly. And finally, this comes down to a more brass tacks. That gets transformed into innovation in the head. And what is the innovation that we see? Look at any project that Bhagwan has done. In fact, we had Mr. L&T, the chairman of this company called Larsen and Toubro, which has done all the projects for Bhagwan. The super speciality has been built by Larsen and Toubro. The Chennai water project, the canal, has been built by Larsen and Toubro. It's a multinational organization, and the chairman of that company is Swami's devotee. And somehow Larsen and Toubro and Swami have been so beautifully connected that almost every project of Bhagwan, Larsen and Toubro will execute it. And so we had invited Mr. Ramakrishna, the chairman, to talk to us. And he was telling us that when Swami would tell, okay, we need to construct a 160-kilometer canal, where water will go from one tank to the other tank. Okay, Swami, they would listen. And so, how much time do you think it will take? And so they would come up with their least estimate. They would say, Swami, this will take us about. So they would go back, do all the homework, knowing what is Swami's time requirements, Swami's time frames, and they would come back with a very, very good estimate of something like, Swami, this will take us about 10 months. And Swami will say, do it in 3 months. And Mr. Ramakrishna would say, the first time when Swami had given him this project, which was the super speciality hospital in Prashant Nilayam, was the first project. When Swami said, it seems, Swami made the announcement, yesterday you saw the announcement. Swami made the announcement on 23rd November 1990 and said that on 22nd November 1991. So that is about 364 days for executing this project. By the time all the plans had come out, Mr. Keith Critchlow, who was the architect of that building, by the time he was roped in to design the entire project, 4 months had passed. By the time everything was, first of all, you need to get it on the paper, right, before you start construction. By the time all the paper documents were ready, it was 4 months, which meant only 8 months for actual construction work, not even 12 months for actual construction work. And when Mr. Ramakrishna was brought in to say that you need to construct this hospital in 8 months, the first thing he said is impossible. And he was telling us that I didn't know that word doesn't exist in Swami's dictionary. And very lovingly he says, with a smile on his face, he says, I didn't know that I'm not supposed to use words like that. And it seems people around Bhagwan, Mr. Jogarao, Mr. C. Srinivas, Mr. V. Srinivasan, who all were there, the moment he said impossible, them and said, oh God, don't use that word. Because every single other time that word has been used, Swami has shown them how it has become possible. Okay, and Swami doesn't like this word impossible. Swami, not possible, Swami, impossible. So he said, Swami, impossible, because he didn't know how Swami works. And Swami simply said, you start. Don't worry about the possibility or impossibility. You simply start. What you need now? He said, Swami, it's impossible. I'm telling you upfront, it is not possible. I cannot do this work. And he was looking at it from a professional standpoint. He was saying, I don't want to bring bad name to my company by taking up a project and then not executing it on time. So I want to be upfront with Bhagwan, saying that I won't be able to execute it. So that's what he said, Swami, I am not taking responsibility for this project. I don't think this can happen in 8 months. Swami said, who gave you the responsibility? Who in the first place told you that you are responsible for this work? I am responsible for this work. I am going to see, your job is to just start. I am going to construct the hospital. And when he heard these kind of statements from Bhagwan, he said, that was my orientation in what Swami is. With Swami, there is no impossible. He was saying even the construction of the Chaitanya Jyoti. Have you all seen the Chaitanya Jyoti museum? It's a museum on Swami's life. And next time you visit Prashantilayam, if you have not seen Chaitanya Jyoti, do visit Chaitanya Jyoti. Because it captures the entire life of Swami in one place. Even that building, Swami gave 3 months for construction. They wanted to offer it for Swami's 70th birthday. And the whole approval came during Guru Purnima time, which is in July. So it is August, September, October and November. 4 months. 3 months for construction, 1 month for planning, 1 month for planning. And there was the site which was chosen for the construction had a huge hill. If you notice, it is at the foot of the Hanuman. Have you seen the Hanuman in Puttaparthi? Right at the foot of that is this building, Chaitanya Jyoti. There's a huge hill over there. So they had to actually blow up the rock and then do the construction. There wasn't enough time to first clear up the entire ground. There was no time to blow up the rock and then start construction. So you know what they had to do? On one side start the construction, on the other side keep blowing the rocks. So he said that building has not come from bottom up, it has come horizontally. It was a horizontal structure, and the engineers say that it was a brand new way of construction. They had to go back to the drawing board and rethink the whole concept of construction, the whole concept of engineering. A brand new chapter in civil engineering was being written when that building was being built. Innovation. When you have passion in the belly, innovation starts. Look at the Gram Seva project. Imagine servicing 150 villages, 35,000 food packets every single day, 50,000 saris and dhotis to be distributed over a matter of about 50 square kilometers of area, and you have 9 days to do it. And the first time Swami started this Gram Seva, Swami simply said, it was in fact the vacation time of the students. All the students were supposed to go back for vacation. And when Swami said, boys, I want to do this work. Will you help me in executing this work? That is the humility of the Lord. Really. Sorry. That is the beauty of the Lord. He asks the students, will you help me execute this project? And obviously everyone said, Swami, yes, you are here to execute this project. And it seems when the Gram Seva started, it was just about servicing a few villages. So all we needed to do, it was a village of about 5,000 people, or probably maximum 10,000 people. And during that time, the second Gram Seva I'm talking about, Swami suddenly one day came up to one of our teachers, one of the heads, Mr. Narsimurthy sir and Professor Sudhir Bhaskar, who were in charge of the Gram Seva. And he said, I want to give prasadam to all the people in the town of Dharmavaram. Have you heard of Dharmavaram? It's a town about 35 kilometers from Puttaparthi, and for a long time that is where devotees alighted to come to Prashanthi Nilayam. And you know what is the population of Dharmavaram? 100,000. 100,000 is the population of that little town of Dharmavaram. And all of us had only experience of serving 5,000, maximum 10,000. With all our might, we could do 10,000 in a day. And here Swami says, I want to service that village. Will you do it? And as we know, with Swami, you never say, no Swami, it's not possible. He simply said, Swami, it is, yes, we will do it. And guess what? We did it. And that is the beauty. Swami said, when I give you a work, I also give you the strength necessary to accomplish that work. When he gives us a challenge, he also gives us the strength necessary to overcome that challenge. Believe me, no challenge will be given in our life that is not capable for us to overcome. The very fact that the challenge is being given, it comes with its package. It's a package deal. The problem and the solution both come together. It's just a matter of, we generally first open the problem. Actually, if we start from the other way, we can open the solution first. Then the solution is already with us. Then the problem comes to us and he says, oh, I know how to do it. With Swami, it is like that. Innovation. And so, everyone got down to the drawing board and we were deciding now, how do we service 100,000 people? I don't know whether you even can start imagining what 100,000 means. It took us, by the time we came back after that Gram Seva, it was about 11 o'clock at night. We had started off at something like 8 o'clock in the morning. And we were serving for something like 14 hours that day. And you know what? Till we came back, Swami had not eaten. Swami said, I'm not going to eat till the boys come back. Tell me when the last truck comes back. After that I will have my food. Swami had not slept. Swami had not eaten. And you know the beautiful reason why Swami said, why do I want to serve those people of Dharmavaram? He said, for many, many years, the people of Dharmavaram have been taking care of my devotees. Whenever my devotees come to Dharmavaram, it is those people who have been taking care of them, giving them some food before they come to Prashanthi Nilayam. I want to pay my gratitude to all those devotees. Believe me, Dharmavaram was a place where if you alighted in the 1960s and told that you were going to Puttaparthi, they would discourage you from going to Puttaparthi. There were those kind of people in Puttaparthi who said, what are you running behind that Baba? Hey, nothing, yeah, he's one local lad, he's one village lad, because they were from a bigger town than Swami was. Dharmavaram is still a bigger town than Puttaparthi. And they would discourage people. But for those handful of people who looked after the devotees of Swami, Swami decided to bless the entire town of Dharmavaram. That is Swami. That is compassion in the heart. That gets translated into passion in the belly. And that gives innovation in the mind. I can go on. In fact, one other beautiful example that comes to my mind is the Hanuman statue. Do you know the Hanuman statue on top of the mountain? So, Swami had actually created, and in fact Mr. Subramaniam sir, who has done all this work, Mr. Subramaniam, right, who has come and helped with all this work, he was one of the in charges for that Hanuman statue. So Swami had created this Hanuman, a small little model of Hanuman, and said, let the Hanuman look like this. The Hanuman should be exactly the way it is there in the created statue of Bhagwan. So when all the engineers got down and they started drawing up, they found that it is impossible for the whole Hanuman statue to stand up like that, because on one side you have nothing and on the other side you have Hanuman holding an entire mountain. So the whole model was falling off. Because you need to balance it out with something on this side, isn't it? So this side had nothing, and there's a huge mountain, and it is at the edge of the statue, and so the whole statue was actually toppling off. So everybody was wondering how is the whole statue going to stand? And so try as hard as they could, they were not able to come up with any idea. So they went back to Bhagwan and they said, Swami, it's not possible to do this. And Swami said, I've already given you the solution. Where's the solution? Swami said, go back and look at the Hanuman that I have built, that materialized in that little statue. So they all went back and started looking at the Hanuman statue. And as hard as they wanted, they looked and they were not able to find the solution. And then when they went back to Swami, Swami simply said, if you notice that on, just like Krishna having that green on top, he's wearing that little green, what can I call, chuni. Okay, it's called Uttariya. In Sanskrit it is called Uttariya, and that is what Krishna is wearing there. Right? So on every form of the Lord, which is like Rama or Krishna or Ganesha, you will find that Uttariya on top. So in this particular statue of Hanuman, you will notice that the Uttariya is coming over the arm of Hanuman, and so he is standing this way and it is flowing down onto his thighs. That Uttariya is flowing over the thighs. And Swami said, all you need to do is behind that Uttariya, you need to give us support so that this will not fall. So the mountain stands rest on the hand, and the hand was breaking off because of the excess weight. And Swami simply said, give a pole between the thigh and the arm, and that is how it is going to. And if the Uttariya was not there, it would be ugly, right? To see a pole between the hand, and that is why you cover it with an Uttariya. Innovation in the head. When you have to accomplish something, Swami will also give you the idea to accomplish. And we can go on and on with wonderful, such beautiful experiences of Swami, where it all starts, and that is the kind of message that I want to leave with the youth today. It has to start with compassion in the heart. And as Brother Arvind was so beautifully saying, I'll give you another example that Swami often gives us. And Swami, you would have heard this statement, the proper study of mankind is man. Do you know what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of the proper study of mankind is man? If you want to study mankind, you don't have to go into the anthropological details of mankind. Just study man and you will know how the mankind works. And here Swami gives the example of, just imagine if one cell in the body decided, I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. One cell in the body decided, I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. Why should I do? Just like most of us ask this question, why should I be good? Why should I do my duty? Just imagine if one cell in the body decided to do that. You know what it is called? Cancer. You become a cancer to society. And so every time you ask yourself, why should I be doing this? I don't want to do it. I don't think it is necessary. Know that you have started to become a cancer to society. And such a cancer has to be cut out from society. And eventually it will be cut away from the society. Either you will be given a chemo treatment, and guess what happens because of that? One cell saying no, the whole body suffers. The whole body has to go through chemotherapy. The whole body has to sustain and live with that cancerous material. Do we want to become those cancerous materials? No. Nobody wants to be a cancerous material. Nobody wants to be thrown out from society. Therefore, we have to serve the society. Proper study of mankind is man. Look at our human body. When Swami often used to say, when the thorn pricks our leg, our hand automatically rushes to prick out the thorn from the leg. The hand does not say, it didn't prick me, it pricked the leg. So go let the leg decide what it wants to do. No. At that moment, though the hand is completely different from the leg, isn't it? The hand is completely different from the leg. The set of cells which are running the hand are completely different from the set of cells which are running the leg. Yet automatically at that moment, our hand goes to pluck out that thorn from our feet. Why? Because the entire body feels the pain. And so just imagine if all of us are part of that Lord, and if one part of the Lord's body is suffering, how can some other part of the Lord's body not do anything about it? And therefore Swami says, just like gangrene, it may start at the feet, but it spreads. It spreads throughout the body. And sooner or later, if you do not amputate that part, the whole body gets destroyed. Right? So if there is cancer in one part of the body, the rest of the body has to go and support. If there is a problem in one part of the society, the rest of the society has to go and support that. Because we are all part of that Vishwavirata Swarupa. Isn't it? Aren't we all part of his? And that is why Swami simply ran out to help anybody, because he used to feel the pain. See, one of the fundamental things about service is not the service that you do, but what the service does to you. What is not important is not the service you do, but what the service does to you. When you see someone in suffering, why do you go out to help that person? Fundamentally because you are trying to remove your pain. It's a next level of enlightened self-interest that he was talking about. I am going and serving someone because it helps me reduce my pain. That is how Swami also looked at it. In fact, for Swami there was no two, there was only one. Everything is him only. So if there is pain in some part, and what Swami has time and again said is that you don't actually have to go and run out to help someone. Okay, all you need to do, if you cannot go out to serve, is to simply say Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. That is why Swami has given us that universal prayer. When we simply say Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, can my mind go off to as far a land as possible and touch the person whom I least know about? Can I do that? Or will I only keep thinking about my family, my country, my community, my house, my neighborhood? Or can I think about someone who is completely different from me? Can the eye start thinking about the feet? Can the ear start thinking about the liver? That is what Swami has taught all through his life. We can obviously go on and on. It's about 12:20. And so this is the one message that I wanted to leave with you all. Is start with the compassion in the heart. Then we will become front-running long-distance runners. And I'm sure each and every one of us over here are those long-distance runners. And that is why we have come together to relive the glory of the Lord. Would like to take this next few minutes till we break out for lunch. Let's take some questions, some comments, some suggestions, because it's been both of us speaking. And we want you to speak out. Why is it necessary for you to speak out? And in fact, go back and write down, because Swami says that is where Trikarana Shuddhi happens. There are some thoughts moving through our head right now. The moment they get concretized into a word and ultimately get written down in the written format, and that is why they say when you are doing a visioning process, write down your vision. And in fact, every letter that was written to Swami was like our vision that we wrote to him. Right? Do you know this process of visualization? Why I'm saying this is for a specific reason. I'll tell you. There's a very beautiful documentary called The Secret, and if you have not seen it, please do go back and see it. In that he says, there's this gentleman who says that when he started off his family, he dreamt of having a house in Hollywood or Los Angeles, in California. Yeah, he had seen a beautiful house, a house worth $1.5 million. Okay, and he dreamt of owning that house. It was in California, in one of the uptowns of California. And he simply dreamt about it, and he had read about vision boards. So whatever you are dreaming about, take a part of it and put it on a vision board and keep looking at it. And this is something that even Oprah Winfrey does. And I was just hearing one of her talks, and she said when she wanted Mr. Obama to become the President of America, right next to her bathtub, she kept a photograph of Obama, written next to it, the President of the United States. And every day as she used to have bath, she used to keep looking at that and said, Mr. Obama is the President of the United States. And Mr. Obama says that a big part of my being the President of America goes to Oprah. Because she did the visioning process. That is the power of visioning, that's the power of visualization. And we have heard this over and over again from several different people. We have heard it from Sachin Tendulkar saying that I simply, when I'm at the peak of my concentration, I don't even know whether the bowler is bowling around the wicket or over the wicket. At that moment, my subconscious mind decides what shot I am going to play. I don't even know what shot I am going to play. Here is a boy who's 10th class pass. He's talking like a yogi.
Just adding on to what brother said, this visualization, he said Tendulkar, there's Anil Kumble, there's a bowler who says that every night I picturize the whole team and how I'm going to bowl to them. And these are some of the most successful sportsmen in history. In fact, there's also the story of a golfer he was an amateur golfer, world number 80, world number 90 or something like that. And he was caught in a concentration camp during the World War II. And when everybody was thinking about survival, he thought that he will use the time to practice. Can you believe it? When you're in a concentration camp, you don't get proper food and drink. Forget playing golf. But he said, when I was in the cage, I would close my eyes, envision everything, the breeze, and if this is the breeze, this is the force I have to hit, this is the club I have to use. And that is how he pictured himself, and he said that I practiced for 4 years in the concentration camp. Because there's nothing else to do, you're locked up in a cage, full time just visioning. He came out, he became world number 4. He continued with golf. After he came out of the concentration camp, he became world number 4 from world number 100. And he says that was because of 4 years of practice. And you know what his practice was? Sitting in a cage. Because they have found out that doing in your mind is as powerful as doing it in the body. In fact, they have done experiments on Olympic athletes where they plug them to biophysical monitors and they just tell them to, just think you're running your race. And on your marks, get set, go. You know why they do it? Because though practice is important for the Olympics, when the Olympics come, you cannot afford an injury in the last 10 days, last 20 days, right? You get injured and then you can't run the main event. So they don't want to take the risk. At the same time, you have to practice. So what do? They use this mental simulation which they have derived. This scientific method they have derived from flight simulators. Because a flight simulator is a way of navigating all the problems of flying without the dangers. And they found that the same you can do in Olympics also. Simulate all the ways, all the challenges of running a sprint without the danger of injuring yourself. So, when a person comes out to run on that day, he is feeling that just yesterday I have run my best race. Because they found out with the biophysical monitors that when you run it in your mind also, the same hormones kick in, the same adrenaline, the same everything. The muscles move, the chemicals, everything is the same as if you are really running. And therefore, if you have it in here, you see it in your hand. That is the importance of visualization.
So this person was saying that he used to put it up on his vision board, this particular house in California, and he forgot about it. Eventually 15 years of his life passed and he moved from job to job. And one day he had bought a new property 15 years from then, and he had just moved in and all his boxes were kept, and his little child of about 9 years old was sitting on the box and he was just kicking it. And he told his son, hey, don't kick that, what is there in that box? So they opened the box and they found this old vision board from 15 years back, and he pulled out the vision board, and to his utter shock he realized that it was the very same house that he had put up on his vision board that he was currently in. He had even forgotten about the house, but that vision that he had materialized. And when I heard the story, I was thinking, probably that is the purpose of Bhagwan's photographs in our house. They are our vision boards. They are all the time telling us, I have to become him. I am he. They are like mirrors. Isn't it? Why, if a house or a car can be a vision board, why can't Bhagwan's photographs be a vision board? Swami all the time is asking us to understand, wherever you see, you keep my photograph over there. So in our car we keep, in almost every place we keep a Swami's photograph, right? Because all the time he wants us to remind ourselves, have that vision in our mind, that I am and he are one. We are no less than God. And that power of conviction we can express ourselves through this mantra of compassion in the heart, passion in the belly, innovation in the mind. So thank you, Sai Ram, that these few words will open it out. Any comments, any suggestions, any questions?
I came in a bit late this morning when I was speaking, so I'm not sure if you addressed this, but you were talking about us being the change that we want to see in the world, right? But there's two sides of the coin, because Swami also said that when we go out there and we help, it automatically transforms us. So you have people, hypothetically speaking, who might say, well, I'm the change, so I'm not going out there to do anything. I'll just sit and change myself. And then you have the other end where people might say, well, I'm going out there and serving, so I don't need to change myself. It will automatically come. So how do we find that balance between the both?
Yeah, so what Swami says, so now just imagine, we are standing over here, we are not the transformed beings yet. We still also have a way to go. And in fact, this is where Swami says, Swami used to often tell us, especially to us elders in the hostel, a lot of teachers used to tell Swami, very difficult to ask boys to go every morning, get up in the morning, 5:15 and expect, because we ourselves are not able to do it many times. And Swami said, you don't have to worry about that. When you start telling others, you're also telling yourself. And in fact, when you start to tell others, you all the time, your inner being is telling yourself, you know what, you're telling this to others. You have to start doing it. You have to start doing it. So don't wait for the whole change to happen. The change will happen gradually along with changing someone else. But the objective is not to change the other. In the process of your transformation, automatically several people will transform. You don't start with that, I have to go and change this person. No, I have to change myself. In the process, it will happen. Automatically it will happen.
Did that answer you? Yes, because as we had a discussion in the beginning, we started out with there are so many problems and we want to change the world. And this was not what I said. The discussion came to, if you want to change the world, I have to start being good, I have to be selfless, and I have to see the good in others and see the faults in myself. So this was derived from the answers given by your brothers and sisters. So it comes down to, I don't have to care about that, I take care of this, it automatically gets taken care of.
Yeah, and it also doesn't mean that, when you say don't look at the bad outside, so what, I should never read the newspaper? Should I never see the news? No. The point is be informed, don't be inundated. There's a difference, Be informed about all the problems in the world. Yeah, don't, for example, when Swami read the newspaper, see, he started thinking about the solution. He didn't keep cribbing and crying about, oh God, the mother killed. How many times have we read? I have read several number of times people eating pesticides and dying in India. A lot of farmers commit suicide and all that. And I kept, what I do? This government is a hopeless government. Swami never thought like that. Swami never thinks like that. What can I do at this point of time? And there are several things that we can do at this point of time. It does not always mean that it pans out into a global phenomenon called Pranama Seva. It need not be. And that is why in that song it is said, Suraj na ban paaye to ban ki deepak jalta cha. You may not be able to become the sun, which is he, but you can definitely become light. What can you do? You can go and tell it. So you have, for example, a so powerful medium today called the Facebook, the social networks, the social media. And that is, what the entire Egypt revolution that we saw 2 years back, the entire Egypt was burning. There was a huge coup against the government. simply started because of Facebook. That is the power that we have today in our hands. Technology is the power. Use that power. So it's not that it will always become a mammoth project. It can start small also.
And even when he said about the Gram Seva, for example, this was what was said before. You know, in the Gram Seva, that's right, more than 120,000 people are given food and clothing. But the question always used to be, how does that help? Once a year we go and give them food, but they need food throughout the year. Once a year we go to give them clothes, that's not enough. That was the doubt that was in my mind when we started off. Swami, this is great what you're doing, but how does it help? But you know, Swami's plans are all master plans. When we went there, we found out that the people, you know what? They don't want food. They don't want clothes. They just want to be cared for. They just want someone to show them love. And they feel that, you know what, somehow we'll manage. Yesterday, Pooja was narrating that incident of how, while dealing with children, the children already know their solutions. You just need to give them a ear and show that you care. They themselves will become good on their own. Because Swami says, goodness is already there in people. That is why he says, educare is bringing the goodness that is within outside. You need not give them anything extra. It is there in them, you just have to bring it out. The same way, people know how to fulfill their needs. Food, clothing, it's not that you have to give them food throughout the year. Just show them you care. And that is what we saw, that people all around that place are so touched with our once in a year effort, because they feel, you know, our parents may leave us, our family doesn't care for us, but here are these people, they do not forget us. Every year they remember and come to us, and they are so touched. And we in turn see that these people have nothing. In the same house, one corner is the goat, one corner is the father's bed, in the other corner is the kitchen, and the bathroom is outside in the pond. That's all. And yet, they have a smile on their face, they sleep, there's no fan, there's no air cooler, mosquitoes bite them throughout the night, they don't have repellents, and yet they are happy. And that makes us realize that, oh my God, we have so much, and why do we complain? You know, Brother Amey was saying, ask not what you can do to, see what the service does to you. We realize that when we go out, more than we benefiting the villagers, seeing such people is benefiting us, because it is making us realize how blessed our lives are. And what are we crying about them? We have so much. We have so much. We have so much possibility to do if we compare ourselves to them. They have not a pie that they can give out. They don't have food that they can give out. So there is a lot that we can do individually at our own level and continue to grow. It's always slow, as Brother Amey said. Anything that goes up very fast comes down also very fast. Yeah, in the discourse.
Anything else? Any other points?
Sarah, I hope this question doesn't sound too silly. I'd like to know what's wrong. Well, you are reacted to the point that's wrong. So about abstaining from meat, smoking, and alcohol for spiritual progress. So I have a question about eggs. I'd like to know what's the standpoint about consumption of eggs, be it whole eggs or in other products like chocolates or cake.
You know, as long as, see, what happens is, even in eggs, you know, people make a kind of distinguish and clarification. They say, you know, these are not the eggs that are fertilized, these are non-fertilized eggs, these are fine. Okay, all that is fine. If it is like that, you know, we take milk from the cow. So they tell we are taking milk from the cow, we are having milk. Why not take eggs from the hen? You know, that is why we have a new category of people called the vegans, and they don't even touch dairy products. The reason is because in the olden times in the villages, the hens would lay the eggs, the cow would give the milk. But today, if you see the modern industries, it's very painful. The kind of conditions that the cows are in, that the hens are in. Okay? As far as directly when Swami has spoken, I remember him discouraging even from eggs. But milk he has not said anything about. But at the same time, I also know a few people for medical reasons, Swami told them to have egg. it is there, both is there. But the thing is, we don't know from where the egg is coming, we don't know from where the milk is coming, right? So if we have grown to that level of sensitivity, we avoid that also. How do I know that the hen that has given me this egg has not been tortured for the egg? Because if you see, those videos are all over YouTube. Just see them, dear brothers and sisters, and it's heart-wrenching.
This was a presentation that was made in our college. They inject some kind of artificial hormones to increase the amount of milk production in the udders of these cows. And the udders become so large, I'm not joking, it is a horrible sight to see, that the cow is not able to bear the weight, and so the cow's leg actually start to crumble. That is how large they become. Okay, that is the kind of pain the cow goes through. Just imagine what are the kind of vibrations that are there in that.
And they feed meat to these cows so that they grow fat and give thick milk. The same thing they do to the poultry. The hens are so fat and they are not able to even turn around in the cages.
I will give you an example even of helmets. You know how the helmets that we wear, of course, back in India, you know how they are tested? Because the monkey skull is closest to the human skull, for testing of helmets, they actually take a monkey, put the helmet on the monkey and start squeezing it from both the sides until the monkey's skull cracks.
And
the monkey starts to, it is struggling because you just imagine the kind of pain. The monkey is not able to escape from it. The moment that, the limit of crackability comes, then they know whether this is a good material or not.
And then it is certified.
And then it is certified
safe for humans.
Yeah.
So you see what happens is when
I can give you some more gory examples. I like this because, for example, rabbits. Rabbits don't have tear glands. So to test our cosmetic products, to test, whether if shampoo was to go in our eyes or soap goes into our eyes and our eyes start to tear, right? But for rabbits, it does not happen. So these cosmetics are actually tried onto rabbits' eyes.
Because if we get the chemicals into our eyes, our tears wash it away. So we do not know how harmful it is. So you want to check it? So they check it out on rabbits.
And they go blind. The rabbit goes blind. It is not able to look. And finally something comes and eats it off. And that's how it dies.
So you see, it is so embedded deep. Actually, that is why if you see I see some of the foreigners staying in Prasanthi Nilayam, the way they live is amazing. They use none of this. They use organic food. That's why there is no limit to it. Because man's selfishness today, you see our selfishness. Though you and me are not like that, we are supporting that industry because the world has got selfish. And that is why we need to improve the world.
So non-vegetarian is not just about what you eat. That's why Swami was yesterday saying, see no evil, see what is good. What you see with your eyes is also non-vegetarian. What you hear with your ears is also non-vegetarian. What you breathe with your ears and hear with your ears, everything is non-vegetarian. Only a part of it is the food that we intake. So in fact, Swami wants us to abstain from all sorts of non-veg.
So therefore, when it comes to these grey areas, we keep trying to evolve. We try to get better and better. Can I do away with my shampoos? Can I do away with these? Because all these are tested like that. So yes, I do away with eggs. I do away with milk also, unless I know. For example, in Puttaparthi now, we have Gokulam and separate places where you can go, you see the cow being tended to, they milk the cow in front of you and give. You know that the cow is not harassed and you get.
For example, if you know, just for your information, go to Gokulam. It's such a beautiful sight to see. Every morning, before the cows are milked, every cow they go and do pranam, because that is our Gomata. It's a beautiful sight. I've seen it myself. They all go and first they go down at her lotus feet, if you can say so.
And only 40% of the cows there give milk. Everybody else is old, but they do not butcher it.
Yeah, the cows are never left to an old
just
age.
imagine if you are sucking a cow dry and the cow is crying out in pain, telling you are killing me. Those are the vibrations that come along with the milk. So, there's no escaping it. And that is why we have to change the world. Because it's there everywhere now.
Or at least, that's why Swami has given us this prayer. Lord, to sanctify the food. because Swami says when you cook food, there are three kinds of problems that could happen. There's Paka Shuddhi, Padartha Shuddhi and Patra Shuddhi. Have you heard of this? So Pak is the essence that we are using. That has to be pure.
That is the raw material.
The raw material.
Vegetables. That is where you keep out all the meat.
For example, do you know, I mean, I don't know, I'm sure it does not happen here, but in India, most of the cauliflower that we get in the villages, you know, it is grown in sewage water. So all the sewage from the towns go out. It goes into where? It goes into the villages where the crops are being grown. So all our dirt, all the water from that is thrown out of the city, and we think.
And you know why people do it? Because we don't care for the village. Let our city be clean.
Our city should be clean.
And they put boards, keep city clean, keep city clean. How do you keep city clean? Dirty the village.
Guess what is happening? The crop which is grown over there is coming back to the city, and you are
And
consuming it.
people are getting those diseases. New diseases are coming up. You are solving all the old diseases. Polio eradicated. Here is a new disease. How so many new diseases are coming? Because
So,
you cannot live in a bubble.
It's
You
much
can-
larger, you know, the way we have to look at it is as a much larger.
You think you are safe, that guy is suffering, it comes back.
comes back.
And so you see, when it comes to a question like egg or milk, see so many things we have to give up. Because everything is involving cruelty.
So it's not a really silly question.
It's a very profound
Very
question,
question.
which brings in the need for change in the world, which again comes back to individual change. So yes, some things, smoking, alcohol, this, egg, yes, Swami says give up. Other things, milk, you know there is so much wrong going on. Cosmetics, cream, I know maybe the cream is bad, but I need, otherwise my skin is going to crack. So fine, to the extent possible, that is why. As much as possible, let us evolve. But in the meanwhile, let us not give up our crusade in trying to improve those. And that starts with individual transformation and inspiring the world. Just see, by Swami Singhal giving up meat and stressing on vegetarianism, how many people in the world have become vegetarian? If Swami could do, if 20 of us decide, maybe we can make the world a better place. Yeah, so now it's 12:45. At 1:30 we will begin, maybe 1:30, 1:40 max, we will begin the show because it's about 1.5 hours. Please do not miss that video. It is
some footage of Swami that you would have probably not seen.
And
Very
it has-
interesting footage of Swami.
And yes, it is having Swami's life. And after that, we'll have another break, after which we will have the final satsang session of the day.
And I'll tell you one more thing about darshan. Why darshan is so important? Why seeing Bhagwan is so important? It is said, it seems, that when people used to watch Mother Teresa on the television, the amount of antibacterial in her mouth increases. That is the power of darshan. When you see a pure soul, when you see, simply by seeing the pure soul, your entire body starts to resonate with, your immune system becomes better. That is the physical. Direct physical. Imagine at the mental and at the spiritual level, see the kind of growth that we are having. That is why we have darshan of the Lord.
And you would have had this experience, right? You see and then, I don't know, there is something about that person. When I see him, I feel happy. I feel good. What is that? You see the other also. I don't know what is it. If I see that, I get irritated. What is that? Yes, so that is the power of darshan. And that darshan power comes by the way a person has led his or her life. And since we are watching the life of pure, unsullied love, that is what will come in us also. And that is why this is the second part. See no evil, see what is good. This is awesome good at its best.
Sai Ram.